Hey YouTube, so today I'm going to be showing you how to plug in some code into the module that we were working on earlier so that we can get started on some projects. And it's just going to be a basic tutorial on just a few basic things that you need to know how to do to be able to get this to do what you want it to do. So what you're gonna need is a serial cable that came with the Lego kit and the module that we were working on earlier.
Alright, so let's go to Arduino IDE, type it into your search bar, and the first result where it says Arduino IDE download should be the right one. Click on that. And it will redirect you to this page. You can make a donation to the IDE project if you want, but you don't have to download this. Just click on download. Alright, so once that's finished downloading, go ahead and install it.
Okay, so now that we have Arduino IDE installed, we're gonna plug in our board. And it should light up like this. Let's just double check if it's reading that our board is plugged in here. So you go to the tools and then go down to ports, and if it's reading it correctly, it should display it right here. If it's not, then you might have to play around with it and select different ports until you get it to match up to the one that you have the Arduino board connected to. But here it looks like it picked up my board, so no need to do any of that guessing.
Looks like it has a few of my old projects here, so ignore that. Go ahead and go to File in the top left corner, and then in the examples, click on bare minimum. So that should give you a basic layout for the program that we're going to write. So on the top, right above void setup, go ahead and type int LED pin equals 6, and then close it off with semicolon. Then below void setup, we're gonna type in pin mode with the M capitalized, then in brackets LED pin and output. So we're telling the program to output to the variable that we created at the top. And then right below void loop, go ahead and type digital write with the W capitalized, and then we're gonna assign it the variable at the beginning, so LED pin low, and close it off with the semicolon. Below that, we're gonna set a delay, so that's gonna be a timer to let the program know to wait before proceeding to the next command. And we're going to give it a value of 1000. This is in milliseconds. Close it off. Then again, digital write, LED pin high below that. Close it off. And that's going to tell it to send 5 volts, all 5 volts, to the LED pin that we assigned. And then we're going to set another timer for 1000 milliseconds below that. Go ahead and do that. and then click on upload. Okay, it looks like I missed something here. Looks like I didn't capitalize low. So try that again with low capitalized, and then upload with the arrow on the top left corner. Okay, so that just sent it over to our Arduino microcontroller.
Alright, so now going back to our Arduino, now that we have some code in there corresponding to the pin number 6, we're going to find it on the board real quick, and it's going to be on the right side here. You can see 6 right there. So we have that set to repeatedly turn the 5 volts high or low and then high after a 1 second delay, because this is in milliseconds, so 1000 milliseconds equals 1 second. And you just plug this in, and we're gonna just hook this around to the top of the board here. Now this is gonna stay off for now because we're using another power supply from our Arduino. The Arduino is providing the 5 volts through a different connection here. So you just want to plug this in right over here, and it's going to be your positive for this project. Now this one is going to be the negative. I'm going to plug it into a ground connection on the board. And let's see, we have a ground connection right over here. We actually have a couple. The ones that say GND. So I'm going to use one of those. And it looks like the cable isn't long enough. I'm gonna grab a different one. Okay, that should be good. Now you could technically leave this on if you want to, because it's feeding power to these sides, which we're not using right now. We're using the internal ports on this breadboard, but there's no point because we're not really utilizing these right now, so we're gonna leave that off. Okay, so the ground connected to a completely different row because all these are connected horizontally. So if the positive is going horizontally on all these, then you want to choose some completely different area to connect the negative. So I'm going to use this one right here. Alright, and we're going to start out with one of the LED light bulbs that came with our Super Starter Uno R3 project kit. And you want to make sure you get orientated with the positive and the negative. So the longer end of the LED is the positive, shorter end is the negative. Don't plug in the positive yet, just plug in the negative. The positive, put it like right over here, not connected to our positive connection, and I'll explain why in a second. So to make this more efficient so that you don't burn out the LED light bulb immediately, because it's not able to take the full 5 volts without burning out, we need to use a resistor. So go back into your kit and you're gonna find one of these aluminum static proof bags full of resistors. All the resistors that look like this. Okay, and all of these have a label on the bottom that tells you their capacitance. So this is a 220 ohm resistor. That's the one that we're going to be using for this project. There's also a way to tell by the lines on them, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Alright, now we got this ready. I'm going to plug one end into the positive side, going horizontally here, one of these positive connections, and then the other end into the positive of the light bulb, or LED bulb, sorry. I think this one might actually be burnt out. Let me try a different one. Might have been playing with that one earlier. There we go. So now you can see it blinking every second. And you can adjust this by adjusting the value that we set here to 1000 milliseconds. So if you want to have it blink, let's say every 10th of a second, change this to 100, and then upload. There you go. Now, if you want to do this even more, I guess you could say professionally, you could set an integer or a variable for the timing. So instead of writing down or plugging in a number, you would just plug in a variable. So you come back up here, and where we set the LED pin on port 6, we could create a new variable. Int. And let's do blink time. And we are going to set it to whatever we want the speed of the light bulb to blink. So let's say I want it set it to 1 or 500. That's half a second. Now that we initiated that variable, we come back down here and plug it in blink time. Upload. Oh. Okay, let's see where we went wrong here. Looks like we deleted one of these brackets. Let's try that again. And that should work. Awesome. So, there you go. Check in for the next tutorial, and we're going to be doing more with this concept. We're going to be able to do some cool things with the modules that we have available just by knowing this. Alright, I'll catch you later.